Mr. Steinman, as you say that it's not a downgrade, but it sends a clear signal in regards to the lower middle income. Can you elaborate on that for us?
The first thing is what I said in the first part of our conversation. The population is growing faster than the economy. That is a big problem. Where do you see it? The most striking statistic is unemployment.
Yeah.
And you know that our unemployment stats are horrible.
It is.
You know, it is really, you cannot run an economy when 34% of your average population sit without a job and 40% of your youth does not have an income.
Yeah.
You see, so that is what this reclassification is forcing us to confront. That reality that we are growing faster in terms of number of bodies compared to income. The second very important thing is that if we do not change this, if the policies and the targets that we have in NDP 6, that is, I think, due in 2 or 3 months later this year, if they don't materialize, then at some point in the future, we will again be reclassified. And guess what? There's only one left to the bottom, and that is low income.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain external and internal pros and cons. If you look at the internal factors, it looks like the economy is underperforming, and it is, and it becomes one of those six of the one and a half dozen of the other type arguments, chicken egg type argument. Is the problem that we need to solve the growth rate in the economy, or is the problem the growth rate in the population? Now, which one are you going to solve?
Yeah.
Because we've been battling for more than 10 years, since about 2014, to get the economy to catch up with the population. And we managed that for a short while, from about 2012 to 2015, roughly. But going by the census figures, we have really outstripped the economic growth. So it becomes a demographic issue. If we simply have fewer babies, we'll be, in another 10 years, we'll be richer again. So, and I'm saying it jokingly, but this is the reality of the situation. But what is unfortunately reality is that the World Bank classification, and this is one of the external factors, serves as a benchmark, not only for the World Bank, but for a host of other lenders and development agencies.
Yeah.
So if the GIZ, the German Development Bank, is looking at extending a concessional loan to Namibia, let's say to complete the Kransberg railway line at Isakos, the first thing they do is they go to the World Bank classification and they see, Namibia is a lower middle income country. Now it means that if we get the loan, the terms would be better. It would be easier for us to repay it. But that if becomes a very big if. When we were an upper middle income country, whether it's the African Development Bank, whether it's Afrex, Exim Bank, the IMF, when we applied for financial assistance, like during COVID, it was basically a given. It was a formality. Come just changa here and we give you, what did they give us? $1 billion in 2 tranches. Now we are in a category that enjoys certain benefits in terms of the repayment. In other words, the interest is lower, the amortization period is longer, the drain on the national budget from year to year is less. but it is not a given that we will get that loan.
Of course.
It now becomes a concessional loan. And that's a very important thing to understand. Concessional loans constitute money that comes with strings attached.
Yes.
And that is what we don't want. We want to be in charge of our economy. We want to convey an image that we manage the economy responsibly, so that when we apply for serious funding, there are not all these ifs and buts. There are not all these strings attached. We get the money and we do with it what we deem necessary to grow the economy.
Yeah.
This is one thing that's going to change for us. Every time that we now apply at any of the development agencies for serious funding, they will look at what is our World Bank classification. So you can ask me, is it in our interest to get back to middle income? The previous president, Mr. Hage Geingob, he didn't believe, Dr. Hage Geingob, he didn't believe it was in our interest. He wanted us to be reclassified at a lower grading. And so this has now been achieved. It'll take a good 4 or 5 years before we see the full impact. We will see it when the next economic crisis is on our doorstep.
And we hope that won't happen, Mr. Tadeu Steinmann. But thank you so much for coming through, and thank you so much to our listeners as well. And in case you have missed out, you can of course go to economist.com.na and you can find all the previous talks that we've had. You can also go to the YouTube channel that is of course Economist SME. You better click it, you better like it, and you better subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today.